to Riviera Bay Civic Association Summer General Meeting. We have a great agenda tonight, but since we're having AV, if you didn't scan the QR code to see the agenda, we did not print it tonight because there are so many people here. We'll have it up later, but we're letting our Storm Smell ladies get set up with the AV. So we start every one of our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. Don Gilbert is going to lead us this evening.
Join me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have to be doing that more often because I forgot the words.
That's how we keep you shut down. All right. Thank you all for coming. We have the ladies from Storm Squad and USF. Dr. Dixon is here, and Erica Hall is here. I was fortunate enough to meet them at the Resiliency Summit, and we were very excited to have them here tonight. We're going to go over a couple of RBCA topics, which if you scan the QR code, if you didn't scan the QR code and you want all the details from tonight, and me not talking a million miles an hour, this will be recorded tomorrow and on our website, so you can slow it down. But all of the general meeting documents are already up on our website. And then when we get the stuff from Storm Squad, we'll add that in. So all of our recaps and everything that's going on will be up there. We had a great second quarter. We had the biggest 4th of July golf cart parade ever. So thank you to everybody. I'm going to turn the page around. That's all written down. So we are, if you remember, in January, we had a presentation of the 9th gate that is at the corner of Riverside Drive and 83rd Avenue. Since then, I have had a meeting with the Stormwater Department, with Mr. Michael Perry, who's the Senior Stormwater Manager, about identifying locations that we can put more of those in Riviera Bay. They are currently producing a map for us that shows where all the pipes are, where the backflow preventers are, and where we can potentially swap out the passive backflow preventers that get clogged and stuck open, which if anybody drove down 89th today and saw the street was flooded, the backflow preventer has a clog in it again. They do have a work order prepared for it. So if we can get more active backflow preventers, which are the 9th gate prototype that they tested in Riviera Bay, we can have less of that issue because of the mechanism. So if anybody is super interested in that, feel free to join me. You can join our next meeting. And I want to thank, I know at least half the people in this room, wrote an email back in April to ask City Council to include St. Pete in the Water Resources Development Act, and they worked with our Rep. Kathy Castor to get that authorized. St. Pete was written in. That means once that act gets authorized, it gets authorized by Congress every 2 years, so it should go through. The Army Corps of Engineers will come in and help with canals, all of the canals in St. Pete, and that is very large in part because of people in Riviera Bay who kept complaining about the canals. We got the study for Canal 11 and 12, and the city used that study to apply to get the whole city in because of that little bit in Riviera Bay. So I want to thank all of you for your support in that. It really made a difference, not just for us, but for everybody in St. Pete. And I want to thank you. Because I got the email when it got added to City Council agenda from Brandi's office and Kim saying, hey, we've pulled this. This is what we've been talking to you guys about, trying to get the Army Corps in here. Please get everybody to write everybody else at City Council to support it. So that was amazing. And then there was also $2.2 million in appropriations that recently came to the city. 1.1 plus million will be coming to help the flooding on 4th Street, 88th Avenue that will get piped. And when I talked to Stormwater, they said it's going to go down 4th Street, across at 87th, and into the outlet at Sunlight Cove. So that will impact water coming into Riviera Bay. We have some of our street captains here tonight. We had our very first street captains meeting. I will put the graphic up later in this evening, but we have a lot of areas of the neighborhood still open. If you want to be a street captain, we would love it. There's a little write-up on the website. We've got a map, so you can see what areas aren't currently covered if you're willing to volunteer, and if and when there is a storm. Go around, help out your neighbors, kind of identify, it's like a micronized version of what we do. So we have like our street captains who can bring issues up to us. There's a neighbor who's fallen ill, that's in the hospital, they need their yard mowed. We have volunteers that can jump in if somebody's got problems, stuff like that. So it's just a way to stay more in touch with all of your neighbors, so we're looking for some more volunteers. Our sponsorship committee has gotten put together. We're working on 2027 sponsorship opportunities, so there's going to be a bunch of updates for next year coming soon. If you would like to join that committee, email us. We'll get you added. Dawn is heading that up. We also are moving into our fall season of events, so if there's anybody that likes decorating, planning, doing anything related to Halloween or Christmas, please join our events committee. It's a lot of work, and everybody in Riviera Bay really loves it, and we need hands and creative minds. Because if you came to Halloween last year and you saw how I was like, do what you want, and it turned out great, but we'll have a box of decorations and you can do what you want. So we're still there, and we have a bunch of sponsors this year for Halloween, so we're hoping to make it bigger and better than ever, and get your golf carts ready. We do need people to sell candles. We have a lot of our older volunteers are not doing it anymore, so if you want to help sell candles, we will have a meeting around beginning of November. Email us. And two things. We have been requesting the results of the Resilient St. Pete study that a lot of you in Riviera Bay participated in. We've been asking for the reports, we've been asking for meetings. Claude Tankersley, our head of public works, has agreed to have a meeting with us. We are still waiting on that date, but I just wanted to update you because some of you have been asking. And the GO bond. This is a general obligation bond. It was approved by City Council to go on the referendum for November. We have an article in our summer edition of the newsletter about it. It needs a little bit updated because at the time we wrote it, it hadn't been passed by City Council and the language wasn't finalized yet. But I strongly encourage you guys to educate yourselves about the GO bond. We're not going to advocate which way you should vote because that's not what we do here. But it will be on the ballot. It will be, if it is passed, an additional tax. And the question that I spoke to City Council about, and I just wanted to get, and we got the answer, was currently it was proposed at 96 mils if the state property referendum does not pass. If it does pass, it does change things, and it goes up to 1.07 mils for those that would have to pay taxes. So that matters to you. Now you know. And that is everything about Riviera Bay, as fast as I could. We have this board up here tonight. We normally do an open forum and let everybody bring all of the issues that might have cropped up in the neighborhood, and we talk through them. But because we have so many other people here tonight, we're going to do it written, or you can write us notes about how much you love living here. So I encourage you later when we do this sort of mix and mingle part, come up and write down some stuff, suggestions, any other things. You can always email us. And that's it. And I finished early, so we're going to turn over to Storm Squad. We have an extra 2 minutes. I want to welcome Erica Hall and Dr. Dixon, and they are going to tell us all about this amazing program that they have put together.
Thank you all. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us this evening. My name is Erica Hall. This is Dr. Bernardi Dixon from USF St. Pete. And we're here just to talk a little bit about the Storm Squad, but Dr. Dixon is going to talk more about the cameras and a lot of things that you all have asked that we present on. So the mission of the Storm Squad is getting resources and information to the community to increase community preparedness and increase resilience. We call it neighbors helping neighbors. And so what we do, we cultivate community and neighborhood level leadership. As you can see from our picture in 2023, we organize community conversations. We bring resources into the community, and we conduct surveys so that data-driven policy decisions can be made. So our efforts are concentrated in the neighborhoods listed here, we have a website, so if you ever want to see how we upload photos about flooding and different events and things, you can always go to stormsquad.org. Our neighborhoods include Bartlett Park, Harbordale, Childs Park, Jordan Park, Campbell Park, Palmetto Park, Lake McGorry Shores, and Lillman, which we have a meeting tomorrow, town hall meeting in Lillman. So what we do, we work with the community. The community has helped us develop and test the app. It's like Ways for Flooding. The genius that is Dr. Dixon will get into how she created this amazing technology. But what we do, we work with the community, and they help us develop and test the app through the tablets, and we show them how to upload the photos. So we use social media to engage communities. As you can see, we have a site, a Facebook page, which is Crist, Climate, Justice, Equity, and Resiliency Forum. So during storms and during both Helene and Milton and the storm with no name, a lot of our ambassadors uploaded photos to the site, and we were able to send notices to Councilmember Gabbard and Driscoll about flooding that was happening in their neighborhoods. So if you're interested in learning more about the disaster preparation and resources, these are our QR codes. This one will help you access the community survey to share your challenges, and this one will take you to our website for upcoming details and events. So with that, and with the survey, just to show you how the results are tabulated, and it'll let you know the percentage. Has your neighborhood experienced flooding? Did the flooding you experienced cause you to miss work? This is smartphone integrated, and you are all able to access this information, send it to each other, send it to your elected officials, and it helps the community to know more about what's happening. So with that, I'll turn it over to the genius that is Dr. Dixon. Thank you.
Here, so I can actually forward my stuff. That's okay. Can you guys hear me? I don't even probably need this thing. Do I? At the back? All right, I'm a professor. I can project my notes. All right, so I'm going to talk about the infrastructure we built for City of St. Petersburg as well as Pinellas County to monitor flooding. This grant was about $1.5 million I got competitively from National Science Foundation, and that actually helped us develop these things. Now, if you look at it, this is no news. This is our everyday life, right? I was here on June 16th, and this is what I saw in your neighborhood, right? I was actually driving through your neighborhood. I collected some data. We do have a camera at the Sunlit Cove, and actually we just recently installed after the last storm. So over here, I'm going to talk about two major applications. One is the camera and another is the app. Camera collects data in real time about flooding. Not of people, no need to panic. It just collects the data about how much water rises every 15 minutes during the storm. So I'm going to show you some data we collected during Hurricane Helene, because we only had 8 cameras on site during Hurricane Helene. Since then, we have launched 40 cameras throughout the county, and it collects data in real time. So the first thing is the camera. Oh, wait, hold on, let's move it. So these are the actually designed, built, everything in my research lab. We install them in different ways. These are solar panel powered and also very nimble, so they can work during the storm. So the one on the right shows the cameras that are within the city limits, and we are working with it. So this is the one I want you to pay attention to. This is Bartlett Park, the tennis center. What I want you to focus on this pole, that actually helps me measure the water depth. That pole is 5 feet. Every 6 inches is what I can measure, which means I measure every 6 inches depth of water. During Hurricane Helene, you can see around 8:30 p.m., you can see all 5 stripes. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, say yes. Good. So the next one, you can actually see at 10:30 p.m., you can only see 3 stripes. What does it mean? A 5-foot pole, 2 feet is underwater. I'm measuring this every 15 minutes, right? So then you go back around half past midnight, you can only see 2 feet, which means water is rising. I can calculate the time and how high. Now if I ask you what is 3 feet, looks like this much of water was in a Bartlett Park. That's a tennis court, right? This water is coming through Salt Creek, the intrusion of the Salt Creek. Wait, I have to go back.
I asked you.
Yes, please. All right, this is Lake Mayoral Shores. So this is the canal, and I heard you guys mention canal. The best type of data you can get it when you can actually see what's going on in the middle of the storm. And we created a network that allows us to do it. Now, for your information, this is a one-of-a-kind system. NSF does not find multiple projects the same way. You have to be competitive, you have to be creative, and you have to be able to be one of a kind. So the city of St. Petersburg is the only city that has this current infrastructure, right? So if you look at the Lake Mayoral Shores again during Hurricane Helen, water is rising at 8:30, right? You can see 4 strips. About 1:30 a.m., you can only see 2 stripes. Remember the 5 feet, right? So you can go back, it's actually tilted in 3:30 a.m. We know that erosion started happening. We are actually recording this every 15 minutes in the middle of the storm, right? So next one, please. All right, I'm very impatient. So this is Denver Park in your backyard. This camera was actually active during Hurricane Helen, then again flooded out, so it did not collect data during Milton because we had some issues. However, if you look at this data, you can actually see, again, 8:30, you have a 5 feet, its water is rising at 10:30 p.m., and this is where you actually have 1:30 p.m. 2 and 2, so you have this much water, which means above 2.5 feet of water, right? If you go back, here is city had some infrastructure, was underwater. One of them was my cord that went under, right? But that did not affect the camera, but we do have a weather system also. We actually collect rainfall, weather, air quality. We are scientists, that's what we do. Next one, please. So again, this is USF campus. You can actually see on the seawall. We do have a pole inside the bay, but this is the one I'm pointing to, the one on the seawall. You can see how the water is rising. You see that, right? And it's fascinating. Now, I don't sleep during this time. I'm looking at it real time, but you guys can also look at the camera that is within your neighborhood, right? The next one, please. Okay, so this is the camera live dashboard. You guys can, my QR code at the back. I'll pull it up, the QR code in the front. You guys can actually see, bookmark these cameras, and you can look for yourself. Everything is publicly available because this is federally funded project. Next one, please. So this is how it looks. That QR code works. So if you point it, it will take you to the site. It gives you a daytime image, how it should look, a nighttime image, how it should look, and real-time image. Okay, so you can actually see it. Next one, please. So what do I do with this camera? So we took those camera data, we actually created a flat model. Based on the height of the various cameras, now we know where the water was, because water always will find the level, right? So we can actually do that math. Next one, please. So this is one of my PhD students' work in Bartlett Park. Using the camera, we modeled it. We can actually see which building will be flooded, which one will not be, based on how much water was there and the first floor elevation of the building. Blue indicates flooded, brown indicates not flooded. And we can do this. This we do not do it in real time, just because in the middle of the disaster, we don't want to hog bandwidth. We do not want to use too much of data, but we can run it pretty quickly after the event. Next one, please. So again, every 15 minutes, it collects data, day and night, right? Not of people, not of car tags, just the pole and the water depth. Next one, please. So this is actually no-name storm. It's First Avenue North and 58th. That area floods all the time if you do not, if you're aware of it. If you look at it in August 25, again you can see the pole, right? It's rising in 15 minutes, right? You can actually see in 45 minutes from that point to here is another 45 minutes, the pole is no longer visible, right? It shows the flashy nature of this Bears Creek. That's what we call. Again, you can actually see how much water rose. These are information. This allows you to do planning, modeling, right? Next one, please. Okay, the other thing we have done, so anytime you make a flood map, you predict, you project, you model, you need data, right? Data allows you to calibrate. Data allows you to tell you how good the map is, right? So what we have done, we have installed the static camera. Also, we have created an app. And this app, what I call Ways for Flooding. Now, I don't know about you. I sometimes speak. And I need to know what the police are, right? Right? So, Flood app actually allows you to tell your neighbors where the flooded areas are, right? So this is what I call ways of flooding, right? So you can actually use to inform each other. So go back to the next slide, please. Hey, this is to avoid flooding, not only the police. So you can actually use this data to upload your picture. You can do real-time picture, you can do historical picture, and we can actually use it. Over here is an example. Somebody uploaded pictures during Hurricane Helen. Again, you can use the QR code, and we take all these photos. We use machine learning, AI, right, to extract the flood height. We know how much water it is, and it actually augments our database of known flooding information. Again, it's available to you. You upload the picture, and even if you do not upload the picture, you can go look at it. Next slide, please. So here are some of the data. We actually collected. People uploaded pictures during Hurricane Helene. And these are some Milton too. You can actually go back, search by the time, search by the location, and you see what kind of pictures you are getting. Okay, next one please. So the whole thing is done, information is power. I want you to use all these tools. For me as a professor, this is my choice, right? I built this to just for fun. But there's a huge application that makes your life better, right? That protects your neighborhood. And that's where you can actually use data to enrich the data set. Also, we can actually help each other through the process. Next one, please. So these are some of the data people uploaded in the nighttime, right? During Hurricane Helene, again, through the app. Next one, please. So what we do, after storm, county and city has to go collect all sorts of high water mark data, right? That's a FEMA requirement. So we have the camera data, we have a flood projection data, we can take the high water mark and we can make a distribution map. We can actually see it, right? What is happening where, how, when, right? And that can be very useful. And if you upload your flooding data, we can actually provide that data to city and county to develop that cross-checking of a high water mark data. Okay, next one please. So that's again dashboard available to you. I don't own any of these things, so it is available to you if you want to use it. Go next please, and it's all free. Okay, the next one. So again, you can actually go back and you can grab the information from there. Thank you very much. Any question?
Yeah, you have time for questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Question?
Go ahead.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
So when we have a storm coming and they give us a water surge height,
Correct.
can you show us what that would look like?
Oh, I had it. I just deleted it because I wanted to save time.
But you can't do that, so you can show my neighborhood where.
Correct. I have it. Actually, I just deleted it. Okay.
Yeah.
I can pull it up in a minute. it? No, not really.
No, it's okay.
I do. I will send you the link. If you send me an email, I will send you the link.
Send to the
Correct.
association, that we'll post it on our socials and our website so everybody can access it.
Correct. And you know your neighborhood. 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet. You know which neighborhood is going to be flooded and what level, right?
So I have a quick question for you, maybe an easy one. I just want to say how much I appreciate you all coming to speak with Riviera Bay, because I've been working with you all for a very long time.
Correct.
And Erica, whenever you showed the slide that showed the neighborhoods where you have captains, I saw that there are no captains here in Riviera Bay. So I wanted to kind of set it up for you to make the ask or give an update on what it looks like for Riviera Bay residents to be more involved.
All right. So anytime I'm open to any collaboration. Anytime you are willing to give me, I will take it. But there is a new grant I actually submitted to a program. I wanted to develop a neighborhood-based training program. They actually understand the physics of flow, right? How the neighborhood gets flooded, right? And develop some resiliency plan at the neighborhood level. So you are most welcome to work with the Storm Squad, but the new grant comes in, I am going to shoot you an email and count you guys in to be part of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, thank you all so much for having us.
All right, there's a reason we have them here tonight. We had to preface that for everybody when we can get included in all that. And we'll have that up so you didn't have to scan the QR code now. I already saved the link, but we'll get that presentation and that'll be up on the website alongside the recording or underneath it, however that works. And we are running ahead of schedule. Actually, give me 1 second because there is one thing I said I would show you. So.
Don't ruin the momentum.
All right, can you see okay, see all that gray? That is where we need coverage for candle sales this fall, or this December. So I just want to we're not just asking for 1 or 2, we're asking for a lot of help. We do have some children volunteers, whose last name is Pamlica and Gus, who will be helping stuff all of the candle bags. So you don't have to make the bags and take the bags. You can just pick them up from our distribution center this year, which is different than the past. You got that last year, Don. We helped you.
I've been doing it for 15 years.
I know, we're making it easier. We got some kids that need some volunteer hours. They were the most efficient candle bag stuffers I have ever seen. I was at their house every 2 hours, I got 300 more, guys. So, but that is the map. It is on the website. We will divide up those little sections. Those were just some of the old routes. So if you would like to help us, it is our one fundraiser of the year. It makes the neighborhood look amazing. And for all of you that live on the boat parade route, please, 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 please purchase some candles so that the boats do not hit your dogs during the boat parade. Brad would be very happy that if you would do that. It does make it, when it's dark and the moon is not full, it was very dark. And when you have all of the beautiful lights on your boat, it is very hard to see through them and actually see in places that it's a little bit narrower. So I want to put that up there, and then I'll do this thing running back and forth because I brought this. See if that loads. Oh, it's a little bit slow. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, these are our current street captain areas. So if you see the tan inside of Riviera Bay, we're looking for people for those areas. So that map is not up on our website yet, but it will be up soon. Just need to do some webbing. So
Okay, Chris Martin stuff.
Chris is over.
Way to go, Chris.
Yeah, so you can see where your street captains live too, in case you need to pick up supplies in the event of a storm. Okay, alrighty. Well, we are going to move on to the section of the evening that I believe a lot of you are here for, which is
I love it.
we have our mayoral candidates here to speak to all of us tonight. I'll put their information up in a minute, but then I'm going to run back over to things. Also, everybody that had questions that they raised at last quarter's meeting, we have like a full digest attached to the agenda tonight that's like issue raised, what we've done, what the resolution status is, where it's moving on. So if there's anybody that wants to get up to date on any of that, it isn't that big long document, so you can access that online, or you can come talk to me about it later, and I will show it to you. So, over the last couple of months, right, I have a lot of timers on my phone to make sure we stay on track tonight, so let me turn that one off right quick. We have had, your board has met with every single candidate running for mayor. We've met with a couple of people running for other seats as well in the district. We'll talk about them later because the primary moves them right on to November. So the primary is next Tuesday. Early voting is already started. But we had the opportunity to represent all of you for 1 to 2 hours with every single candidate. So we got to know them. They got to know about our neighborhood. For the ones that we did not already know, it gave us an opportunity to build a relationship with them, depending whoever gets elected or re-elected. So we were able to bring up issues that are important to us. They're all gonna come up here tonight in a random order and speak 5 minutes. We've got somebody with a buzzer who's gonna cut them off. So we ask the candidates to be respectful of everybody's time. Afterwards, we're not gonna do like ask questions from the floor because they'd all get to answer one question. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna raise this up. Everybody's gonna be able to mingle with the candidates. They've all got a little campaign table back here where you can get more information from them. What we would like for you to do is decide who you want to vote for. I know there are people that have strong opinions about candidates either way, but the purpose of us bringing them all here tonight was for you to be like, this is the person that I want to be leading St. Petersburg for the next 4 years. And if that's your person happens to make it through the primary, great. But there's gonna be 2 people after next Tuesday that are on the ballot in November. So it gives you the opportunity to meet all of them. And we as the board want to thank them all for their time because they were all wonderful. They answered a lot of our questions. They gave us a lot of information. And they have very, very busy schedules campaigning all over St. Petersburg. And the amount of time that they were willing to spend with us was very nice. So we want to thank them for that. So. And when the candidates got here, they picked a table that had a name on it. And we're going to do a little trip through Riviera Bay. So, whoever is sitting at the butterfly garden table, you will be speaking first tonight. Candidates? Is that you? Yeah? Yeah. What table are you at? That's you. You get to go first. I didn't get to catch Maria when she walked in. So, please welcome this evening, and I'm going to change this with all their information behind her once she gets started, Miss Maria Scruggs.
Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for coming out to hear us. We are probably tired of hearing each other, but we certainly appreciate it when we're able to see new faces that's coming to hear about what we plan to do for your city of St. Petersburg. Not sure what's on the overhead but our names, so let me give you a little bit of background on who I am. My name is Maria L. Scruggs, and I make that distinction because there is a Maria A. Scruggs, who's my cousin. So we want to make sure that we know which Maria Scruggs is on the ballot. I was born and raised here in St. Petersburg, where I graduated from Northeast High, went on to FSU, where I have my degree in criminology, and I have Seminole for sure, and I have my master's of public administration from Grand Canyon University. And what else I bring to the table, which is why you want me to be your next mayor, is that I'm the only candidate who is certified in the state of Florida to manage government. And if we come to you, we are coming to you as taxpayers to say, would you hire me? Would you hire me as your CEO? And for those of you that are used to hiring people, you're gonna do what? Look for education, you're gonna look for experience, and you're looking for qualifications. I also bring over 40 plus years of public administration experience, because in 1993, the voters of St. Petersburg said that they wanted a strong mayor for their mayor, that they did not want a professional politician. The difference is that your public administrator is going to know how to outrun the operations of your city, but not only the operation of your city, we're going to understand the ecosystem that city government operates within, because it does not operate in a silo. Which means that you have a public administrator that is going to be working for results. The city of St. Petersburg is in an affordability crisis. And while we could placing on housing and other issues, we could use the noun affordable, there's not a whole lot that's affordable for people that want to live and work here. I am the only mayoral candidate that, even though I worked in Orlando, where I have just retired as of 2 Fridays ago, where I commuted to Orlando daily for 4 months short of 20 years as a jail administrator. And even with that, I was able to develop a plan that got us to talk to 1,429 people. And of those 1,429 people, 1,013 of them were registered voters, and that's how my name appeared on the ballot. It was easy for my opponents to write a check. It wasn't easy for me, because I work for a living, and as a public administrator, I've always worked for a living, so I did not have that luxury. And we chose not to, because what we wanted to do is to make sure that we heard what the people said. And what we heard consistently is we cannot afford to live here, we cannot afford to work here. And we also talked to people that live in your neighborhood that were still struggling with the fact that you've not gotten a solution to your flooding crisis. That is just not acceptable, folks. But one of the things that politicians are good at, they're gonna kick that can down the road until it's election or re-election time. Unlike a public administrator, we're working for a job. So what you can count on as Maria for mayor of St. Petersburg is that at the end of 4 years, I'm not gonna have to campaign a whole lot, because what the people are going to be able to say is, these are the results that matter to me as a voter of St. Petersburg. Thank you so much for your time.
That is Ms. Maria Lynne Scruggs, MariaForMayor.com. And going next will be Canal 11. Ms. Brandi Gabbard, our District 2 rep.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all. Thank you all for having us this evening. This is not a strange crowd for me, because I have had the honor of serving this district for 9 years on your city council. And so I said earlier today on social media when I reposted this event, it's like coming home. And it has been a long campaign trail, and through every neighborhood that I have visited, what I have heard overwhelmingly are the issues that every single one of you over the 9 years that we have worked together have shared with me. The issues that you have kept me accountable to, the issues you've kept me honest with. And as I look forward to being your next mayor, I want to let you know that I will never forget what you have shown me about what it means to be community advocates. So I'm running on a platform of resiliency, sustainability, protection of our environment, affordability, and solving some of our greatest challenges: food insecurity, and making sure that our streets are safe for all road users. But I really want to hone in tonight with you on resiliency. And the reason being is that this is the issue of our time, and it is the issue that impacts all of you the greatest. And we've been through it together, right? We have stood shoulder to shoulder together through good times and in bad over the course of the last 9 years. We've literally mucked out our homes together. And we don't forget that. We never forget that when we go back to City Hall and when we work on the things that matter to you. One of the things that I've been able to show you over the last 9 years is how I address and how I work to solve problems. It's through coalition building, it is through listening to the people, and never hiding from you, always being transparent with you. I think it's important that you have a leader who, even when they know you may not necessarily like the answer, they're still willing to give it to you. And I showed that to you time and time again. And we've done some amazing things together. We've worked to hopefully get Canal 11, right? I pulled Canal 11, I felt that was a little bit apropos, right? Because we have worked together for almost 2 years now, working on trying to get those canals stretched. And the thing about it is that when challenges come, whenever the work is hard, you don't give up. You keep fighting. You keep looking for creative ways. Whenever you're being told that backflow preventers aren't the answer, you dig deeper and you ask your staff to be more creative. And that's how we came up with the pilot program for the knife gate. And now we're looking at that innovation in a way that we'll be able to really help solve more problems across our city. You all have taught me that resiliency is not just a buzzword, it's a lived experience. It's something that doesn't just live within the buildings that we're trying to protect, it is the people who are in those buildings. The families that we're raising within our communities. And if we're going to continue to be viable as a city, you're all 95% within the coastal high hazard here in District 2. But you know what? That perfectly translates to doing leadership across our city because our city's almost 50% within it. So those affordability issues, those infrastructure issues, the things that are keeping you awake at night, those are the things that matter to everyday people across our entire city. And so I pledge to you, and I want to make very clear, I don't come to you tonight with any sort of, I deserve your vote, because everything I have ever achieved in my life, I have worked for just like you do every single day. But I do humbly ask for it. I ask for it because that same champion that I have been for you for 9 years, I will continue to be in the mayor's office. We will hold our team accountable. We will make sure that we are leading with a vision of resident service because you deserve answers. You deserve for your tax dollars to work for you every single day. And you deserve a mayor who cares and a mayor who will not leave you behind. I'm that person. I want to be your next mayor, and I hope that I can count on your vote. Thank you.
They're watching that 1 minute timer.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. That's the way to do it.
Yep.
Don't make me
All
do
right,
it.
so following Canal 11, of course, is Canal number 12. Oh, we have Mr. Charlie Crist, or ex-governor Charlie Crist. Thank you.
My pleasure. Good evening. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you all for being here and caring about the future of our city and what's going to happen a week from tonight. We'll be down to 2 candidates, and I'm excited about it. We've been working hard. We've been on the trail. We see each other all the time, and it's a good crew, good people, and I'm honored to be with you. But I want to talk about affordability. That seems to be an issue that people are concerned about no matter where you live in the city. And it seems to me that we can do things to try to make things more affordable for you by being more efficient with how we deliver our government work in the city of St. Petersburg. And that's incredibly important. I had to do that when I served as your governor a number of years ago. Have to live within the budget, have to do what's right, be responsible with your tax dollars, and make sure they're not wasted and they're utilized well. First and foremost, for your safety and your security. That's why it's so important to properly fund our police department, our fire department. These are things that are essential, they're basic, they're fundamental, and they're darn important. And I know they're important to you, they're important to me, they're important to all of us. Safety and security first. Affordability by being more efficient with our government dollars, yours, that you have, that you give to the government through your taxes. And I think we need to keep our taxes low. You know, because things are so inflated right now, whether it's your groceries, your gas. I mean, I put half a tank of gas in my car a couple days ago. It cost $50. Couldn't believe it. And so that's outrageous. But I would think that when we stop this war in Iran, that would hopefully bring that down. That's obviously not a city issue, but it sure affects us in this city like it does every city in America. And all of us that are consumers and have to buy gas for our cars, unless you have an electric car. The other thing that I think is really important is transparency. I think it's fundamentally important that you as citizens, I refer to you as the boss because you literally are. You know, there's a document that says that our government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. It's the Constitution, and it's important to adhere to it and understand it. I happen to be trained as a lawyer. In fact, I served as your Attorney General not that long ago. It was a great honor to do so. But I think that transparency is fundamentally important in public service because you deserve to know what your government is doing. You deserve to have the information that you want, no matter what the topic might be. It's incredibly important that you're respected. That when you call somebody in City Hall, you get a call back. That somebody cares. When you need to have a meeting, the meeting gets scheduled. And that you show up, and you attend, and you listen, and you study, and you be a responsible public servant to you, the people of St. Petersburg. That's what I want to do. That's why I'm running. I've run for a lot of offices. Most of you probably know that. Why do I do that? Because I love public service. Some people are journalists, like Colleen in the back. She probably loves journalism. Some of you may be contractors, or some of you might be farmers. Whatever your chosen profession is, hopefully it's something that you like. Because they say that if you like what you do, you never work a day in your life. I don't feel like I'm working, although I'm working hard, because I love what I do. I love helping people. It's pretty simple. I'm Charlie Crist. I'm running to be your mayor. I would appreciate your vote and your support. As others have said, you can early vote already, or you can wait until the 18th and vote on election day a week from today. God bless you all, and God bless our St. Petersburg. Thanks so much.
All right, and I skipped Brandi's website, sorry, when she left. So it's Brandi for St. Pete, and Charlie Crist is charliecrist.com. So you have more information on both of them. Next up in our tour is Tinny Creek. Mr. Jim Welch, our former fire chief of St. Pete.
Well, good evening. First, let me thank Vanessa and the board. Like she mentioned, we had a great, at least 2 hours conversation and met the board members, and it was really excellent, well received. I was, and I really appreciate that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. We moved here when I was 9 years old from the tip of the UP, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. My father was a career military, and he retired, and our last winter there was minus 24 degrees. So now you know how we ended up in sunny Florida. And so we moved here, and I lived, as my childhood was right over here at Riverside Drive and 83rd Avenue. So I've been in this area all the way up until I was 18. And at 18, I moved out, and I joined the fire department. Now I'll tell the story, I've told it a couple of times. I never dreamed of being a firefighter. I didn't grow up wanting to be a firefighter. I wanted to be a police officer. So I went down to apply for the police department, and they had an age requirement. You had to be 21. But after a few attempts to get an application, the police sergeant said to me, "We're not hiring any 21-year-olds, but the fire department just lowered their age to 18. So I went to the fire department with the intention of spending 3 years there and becoming a police officer. But when we talk about loving what we do, as Charlie Crist said, and a passion, after a month in the fire academy, I fell in love with that profession. And I did it my whole career here in St. Pete. I never left because of that passion for service. You know, fire service is public service at one of the highest levels. And the great thing about the fire service is the reward. The reward that you get when you make a difference in somebody's life. And there's nothing like it. I've told the story that when When I was a firefighter and we went to a person who had had a heart attack, no pulse, no respirations, nothing. And 2 weeks later, they came into the station to say thank you to the crew that we made a difference and they lived. When you have that feeling, there's nothing like it. There's no price you can put on it. So I tell that story because that's why I'm running. I have a passion for the city. I did my whole career here, and I'll say it. People ask me how long I did on the fire department. I did 50 years and 5 days. So I had a very long career. My last 18 years, I served as your fire chief. So I would tell you that of the 6 candidates, nobody has 18 years of executive leadership in the city of St. Petersburg except me. I've done budgets, I've done personnel, I've done procurement, facilities management, you name it within the city, I've had the opportunity to do it. And that's been a valuable experience. But again, it goes back to the passion that I have for the city. I feel that, Maria mentioned that we went to a strong mayor form of government years ago. I was here under the city manager form of government, and the city manager was hired by city council, and if he didn't do the job, he was fired. Well, when you go to the strong mayor, 2 things happen. One, you can't fire the mayor. I guess you can try a recall and all those things. But if they're not doing the job, you gotta live with it for 4 years. With the city manager, you didn't have to. The second thing that happened with the mayor form of government is we brought politics into City Hall. And I think at the local level, there's no place for politics. It's for service delivery. Service to everyone, equally and fairly. And not political agendas, not nice-to-dos, not special interests. It's back to core services. And those core services, when you talk about the flooding, and I'll back up, our house flooded when I was a kid over here off of, like I say, off of 83rd Avenue. It flooded twice when I was growing up, and again a couple of times after I moved out. It's a horrible experience, and many of you have had it. But back to the core services, that can has been kicked down the road, as was mentioned earlier, for many, many years. And now we're looking at these big, the GO bond and all these other things that are gonna cost you as the taxpayers a lot of money. It's time to get serious, dive into that budget, eliminate the wasteful spending, and let's make a difference. Let's focus on core services that everybody in this city deserves, and let's get away from the political agendas, the special interests, things like that. My website's Jim Large for Mayor. Will be available at our table after this is over. Happy to answer your questions, and I really appreciate you having us here tonight. Thank you.
Moving right on. All right, our next location in Riviera Bay is Sunlit Cove. Mayor Ken Welch, everybody. I love it. It's a surprise for me too.
What's that?
I said it's a surprise for me too.
Thank
every
you.
time I call one out.
Well, I beat Kevin Batdorf out, so I'm not last. How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing, y'all? Oh, wait. Well, look, it's great to be with y'all. I want to thank y'all for the invitation. It's been an honor to serve as mayor for the last 4.5 years. Very challenging years for everybody, and especially for y'all here in Riviera Bay. A lot of good things are happening in our city. I would invite you to go to stpete.org/budget. Take a look at our budget. You don't have to read the whole thing if you're not an accountant, because the first part of that is a budget message from me. And it talks about all the things we're doing, whether it's housing or neighborhood safety or environment, infrastructure, and resilience. You can get a real quick read on what is happening in the city and how we're investing. But I do want to talk about resilience tonight, and I want to first say thank you for your involvement in speaking up for your community. And I think it's important going forward that you have a mayor that is not speaking in generalities, but has actually been here in the neighborhoods doing the work, not only after the storms, but before the storms. Now, this is going to be a little bit weird, but I'm going to say it. This is our next to last forum, I think last one Saturday. But I have been in this neighborhood before Hurricanes Helene and Milton. And big reason why I have is because of my friend, Councilmember Brandi Gabbard. And I'm still asking for your vote. I'm not endorsing Brandi. But the minute I was sworn in as mayor, she came to me and let me know that Riviera Bay was a community, was a different community with different needs. That the flooding here is not the same as flooding in other parts of our coastal community. And so on your website, when you pull it up, you'll see a picture from 2024 July before the hurricanes. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July after. And you'll see a picture from 2024 July af And if you look at that picture, you'll see Councilmember Gabbard, you'll see me, Vanessa, Courtney's there, elected officials from the state and federal level. And that's the kind of partnership that we've built. And 4 months before that, we had a listening session at All Children's, where we asked the community to come out and tell us what you are experiencing in Riviera Bay. And out of that conversation, one of the people here is Representative Kathy Castro, who unfortunately we lost with the redistricting. But she has been an advocate, and just a couple weeks ago, we received $1 million to elevate 4th Street near 88th, because she understands what's happening here. We also, right after I had the opportunity to meet with your executive committee, were included, and I have to get this language right, I'm not up on the federal language, but the 2026 Water Resources Development Act reauthorization included St. Peter's, one of only 3 cities. And that puts us on the road. 2 minutes already? That puts us on the road for federal funding for the canal dredging. And that started back in 24 with those conversations. I brought forward a plan called SPAR, St. Pete Agile Resilience, because we do need to fund the infrastructure that has been ignored, not just for the 4 years I've been here, or the 9 years that Brandi's been here, but for decades. Our sewer plants were not built to handle even 7 feet of storm surge. That's why I had to give you the call and tell you not to flush your toilets. So we need to make that investment. Council has approved a $600 million general obligation bond that you will vote on this November. That allows us to speed up that infrastructure spending so that we can, for our plants and for our neighborhoods, have the kind of infrastructure we need for the threats we're seeing from storm surge and from extreme weather moving forward. That did not happen by accident. It's a plan. It's not a generality about affordability. This is what we need to do to invest, to make our communities safe and resilient. I've been doing that work for 4.5 years. I'm committed to doing that in every neighborhood, but especially in neighborhoods that have a special need in terms of flooding and the way that the community is built. Riviera Bay is one of those. When we talk about canal dredging, one quick thing, we also received $160 million in CDBG-DR. We might receive a second trove of that. And as I told the executive board, if it needs city partnership to make that dredging happen, I think that's a good place to look for that money. So I'm excited, look forward to your questions tonight, and thank y'all for being here.
All right, well, that means there's one left. So, will the Grand Canal please step forward? Mr. Kevin Batdorf, everybody.
I'm so nervous. How many of you have seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
Okay, vote for me and all your dreams will come true. I promise. Seriously. A lot of people know that I was president of Shore Acre Civic Association during the aftermath, let's just call it that. But what you don't know is that I've been a business owner here in St. Petersburg for 30, 40 years. Our current company opened in 1999. I've been successful at everything I've done. I own a watch company that we started in this 3-story brick building just a block up the road, and sold that to my partners for a pretty penny. So I'm the only person running who's actually owned a business here in St. Pete and knows the business climate. But enough about me. You can ask me questions, I'll be at the table later. Here's what I want to do when I become mayor. During the transition from when I'm elected in November through January 1st, I'm going to interview staff, especially top tier staff. I'm going to eliminate $2.5 million in salary before January 1st. Before January 1st. That's the start. And I'm going to get to work on flooding. How many people here had their house flood from rain? From rainstorms, not flooding, right? We know what real flooding is. It's tidal surge. It comes up from the bay after a hurricane or during a hurricane, that's what causes the damage in St. Petersburg. How many studies, just take a guess, how many studies are being done to mitigate storm surge flooding here in St. Petersburg?
Zero.
Zero. That's the problem that we have in Riviera Bay, Shore Acres, along the coast, all the way around. Tampa Bay rises during storms. As mayor, I'm gonna bring in engineers from the Netherlands to show us how we can fix this problem. They've done it. They've done it. New Orleans has done it. Galveston is doing it right now. That's what we need here in St. Pete. And it's not gonna be a St. Pete problem, it's Tampa Bay. Do we need floodgates that go under the skyway all the way across? Is that a pie in the sky idea? Yeah, it is. But it's a possibility, isn't it? And if you don't start the conversation, it'll never happen. That is a focus. Tropicana Field is gonna be a focus. We need to know what the highest and best use of that property is. Right now, there's an agreement for $275 million, way undervalued. The vacant property is worth $390 million. If we do it the way I know we can, because my background's real estate, right? We can generate $1.5 to $2 billion from that property. We don't need a $600 million GO bond when we have the money here that we control. We need to sunset the downtown CRA. You know what that is? Downtown keeps all their tax money. Doesn't help the rest of the city. We need to stop that. Downtown's fixed, it's working. Thanks for using that finger, by the way. So I have a ton of ideas. I can tell you, living in Shore Acres and working on the backflow preventer system doesn't work. It's unfortunate, we hoped it would, but we have an engineer that I'm working with right now that has a system that will work. You cap the outflows with a solar hydraulic system that will stop the water from coming in during high tide and allow the water to go out during rainstorms. So that's all my time. I'm Kevin Batdorf, and like I said, I'll make all your dreams come true.
Batdorf for mayor. We want to thank all of the candidates for being here tonight. This was really important to our community. We had so much response that we had to go find extra chairs for tonight. So we're going to pull the screen up. They have all their tables back here. We'll pull some stuff out. Please go up, meet the candidates, meet them in person. Make sure you say hello to everybody because you never know who's going to win the primary. So I really hope that everybody found this very valuable tonight, and with that, we're gonna move on so that you guys can have the time to speak to all the candidates. So, thank you.